We live in a country that enslaved black people and never paid for it. And y'all be asking questions like this. Meanwhile, the same government who okayed this shit determined the curriculum in school and they decide they gonna show slave movies to black people while they sit next to people who look just like you.
Welcome back to this channel, and I hope you are all doing good. Something is happening across America that is fueling intense debate and division. There are conversations about responsibility, inequality, and the direction of the country are becoming more heated than ever before. And at the center of there is a growing question: who is responsible for America's current challenges? So guys, let me roll these clips. I'll be coming back with more commentaries, and in case of any thoughts, kindly feel free to let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, stay tuned.
After World War I, American soldiers came home really proud of the work they had done to combat fascism in Europe and, save the world for democracy. And Black Americans came home the same way. They were proud of their uniforms, and they had earned honor through their sacrifice and their courage. They came home to a wave of racial terror. The year 1919 was named the Red Summer. White mobs attacked black people in cities across the United States. You won't be surprised to learn that it was started because a white woman accused a black man of assaulting her. But that was just a spark in the kindling of what was already going on in the nation. In Chicago, there was a 13-day riot that left 38 people dead, men, women, children, and over 500 injured. In Washington, D.C., there were these white mobs that included off-duty soldiers and police attacking black residents for several days. And in Elaine, Arkansas, somewhere between 100 and 200 black sharecroppers and their families were slaughtered after organizing for fair wages. In fact, in Chicago, they ground a black teenager named Eugene Williams for drifting over into a whites-only swimming area. When black residents defended themselves from these attacks, which was unusual because they had been so threatened before that they didn't often fight back in the days before the First World War. When they defended themselves, the police arrested them instead of the attackers. The killers were not punished. The court sentenced 12 black men to death instead. During the 20s and 30s, black farmers were pushed off their land. Sometimes they were forced to sign over the deeds to their property, and like a white mob would show up at their property and say, get out of town by sundown, and if you're not out of town, we'll kill you, we'll burn your property. Banks refused to give loans to the black community because all black people were too risky. Entire black communities lost land that their family had worked for since they were freed from chattel slavery, had no protection. The laws were not there to protect them. Then the Great Depression hit. My family was made up of poor white people in Kansas and Oklahoma. They suffered, but they got the New Deal. They got Social Security. They got things that black families were locked out of. Social Security was not available to agricultural and domestic workers. Now, who do you think the majority of agricultural and domestic workers were? They were black people. The Federal Housing Administration wouldn't back mortgages for black families in black neighborhoods. This created the redlining maps that still shape our cities today. In the book 1984, George Orwell said, "Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past." White people, I'm asking you to do one thing. Share the information that I'm posting with one other white person so that the truth can regain control of the narrative. Next time I'll be talking about World War II and the Great Generation. Get curious.
America could have had nice things. Universal health care. Possible. Affordable college. Absolutely. A strong middle class. Should have been a given. But instead, this country chose racism over progress. And now everyone's paying for it. Because every time America had a chance to build something that benefited everybody, the thought of black people having access to it was apparently too much to handle. Instead of progress, we got a country that actively made life harder for itself. just to keep black people down. Universal health care. Not if black people get it too. Back in the 1940s, America had a chance to create a universal healthcare system. Other countries did it, but the US? Nah. Now, you may be asking yourself, why? Because universal healthcare meant that black people could go to the same hospitals as white people and potentially get treated like an actual human being. And they just couldn't have that. Southern politicians outright said that they wouldn't support it if it meant desegregation. Instead of universal health care, we got employer-based insurance. And that left millions of people uninsured, and we all know a hospital bill can bankrupt you. And now, even white people in states that fought so hard against universal health care, they're struggling just to afford insulin. Rural hospitals are shutting down because states are refusing federal funding. Medical debt is the number one cause of bankruptcy. But hey, at least they didn't have to share a waiting room, right? Affordable college, though. Let's talk about that. Once upon a time, public colleges were affordable. California's public universities, they were basically free. Tuition in other states? So cheap, you could pay for it with a summer job. Can you imagine? And then the civil rights movement happened. More black students gained access to higher education. And instead of just letting people go to school, states started slashing education budgets. Public universities raised tuition. Federal aid shifted from grants to loans. And suddenly higher education became a debt trap. And now, Americans are over 1.7 trillion in student debt. An entire generation is financially crippled.
As you continue watching, guys, in this video we are here to explore these rising tensions in American society and also the ongoing debates about responsibility, about accountability and the national direction. Different communities are expressing strong opinions about the state of the country, its challenges, and who should be held accountable for long-standing issues. So we're just here to break down the different perspectives, the emotions driving the discussion, and why these conversations are becoming more intense in today's political climate. It is a critical look at how narratives form, how blame is assigned in public discourse, and what it reveals about the current social and political landscape in the United States. So, guys, let me roll this remaining clip. I'll be coming back with more commentaries. And in case of any thoughts, kindly feel free to let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, stay tuned.
Like Muhammad Ali said, though, every lion ain't gonna try to attack you, but who gonna be dumb enough to wait for the one that's not? You got Karens on every corner. You got the cops trying to shoot kids any chance they get. You got the KKK that the government does nothing about. You have the government who not putting in no bills to protect black people from all this racist bullshit. So when you ask this question, it's just laughable. I believe most of the country is not racist, but I know for a fact that most of the country don't mind accepting the benefits of racism, so it don't really matter to people like us. This country is so money hungry, it enslaved black people for over 400 years and never paid for it. And every time they talk about reparations, they so greedy, they think we more concerned about getting money. But in reality, when you admit that you wrong, that is how you correct your behavior. But because they don't want to admit they wrong, they let us know they want to keep their racism going. This is what the country is built off of. When you hear people say make America great again and white people have always been in control of it, what they mean is get their slaves back. That was the only time they can say whatever they want and do whatever they wanted to us and nobody would dare question it. But now all these woke people are starting to get on their nerves. To say make America great again is delusional anyways. In a country that was built with no integrity, off of the backs of slaves, all of the evil that was done, and they documented it. So it's not just me saying this. We had to go to school to study, so I know what I'm talking about. The same country that has not taken a break from their evil to the life that was created by God will lie to themselves and say, God bless America. The fucking bullshit we got to deal with.
So, across social media, news platforms, and public discourse, people are expressing frustration about the state of the economy, politics, and social systems. We are seeing different groups interpret these problems in very different ways. Some point to leadership and policy decisions. Others focus on long-standing structural issues that have built up over decades. What is clear is that the national conversation is becoming more emotionally charged. In moments like these, narratives begin to form quickly. Some voices argue that certain communities are being unfairly blamed for problems that are far more complex and systemic. Others believe accountability has been avoided for too long and that hard truths need to be addressed openly. And these competing perspectives often clash, creating misunderstandings and tensions rather than solutions. Social media itself has intensified these disagreements. Short clips, headlines, and viral posts often strip context from complex issues, making emotions stronger and divisions deeper. So, what might have once been a nuanced policy discussion now becomes a viral argument played out between millions of people online. And despite the noise, experts often emphasize one key point: societal problems are rarely caused by one group alone. Economic pressure, historical inequality, political polarization, and cultural change all intersect in complicated ways. Reducing these challenges to simple blame narratives often overshadows real solutions. And at a time when emotions are high and opinions are divided, understanding becomes more important than ever. The future depends not on assigning blame, but on asking better questions, seeking clarity, and engaging with facts rather than assumptions. Because only through understanding can meaningful progress begin. So guys, thank you for watching. Of course, all credit belongs to the original creators of the video. In this video, it's meant for educational purposes and commentary purposes as well. Thank you so much. Be blessed. Peace be with you. Until the next one.